Kevin O'Leary is here. They call him Mr. Wonderful.
My man.
Hello, Mr. Wonderful.
Great to be here. Thank you.
How are you?
Crispy.
Yeah. Is there a reason you live in North Dakota? You invest in North Dakota,
Did you
but
lose
you
a
don't.
bet? What?
No, I think this place is remarkable. It's the greatest secret in America nobody knows about. I'm hoping to change all that. This is a remarkable state for policy, pro-business policy. And we got a whole competition going on in America about where money goes. It's just getting more intense. You know, here's the thing and why I'm here, bottom line. For basically since 1954, when they started taking the stats about venture capital, 95% of it went to two states, Massachusetts and California. I wouldn't put a dime into either one of those states today for two reasons. Taxes are uncompetitive and the regulatory environment is unstable. So it's really hard to do business there, also New York, New Jersey. You know, you want to be at a place where tax is competitive, but more importantly, the regulatory environment lets you put money to work for, let's say, 10, 12, 15, 20 years. That's this place.
That's great to hear.
It is well said.
Talk about your history with North Dakota. I know that you had famously PRX some years ago. Some people forget that, but that was, and that's a company that still exists to this day and doing well in North Dakota, right?
Yeah, the story is almost 8 years old now. They came on Shark Tank. Couple of guys with an idea to create a new vision for gym equipment so they could put it into condos, fold it up into the wall, and they were looking for money. I thought the idea was genius, so I invested in it. I'd never been to Fargo, but it became one of Shark Tank's most successful deals in history in terms of sales growth. It was unremarkable what happened with those guys. So we decided the network, ABC's owned by Disney. We're sort of a family network, and Shark Tank's a family show. Said, let's get up to Fargo and shoot a thing with Mr. Wonderful ice fishing in February. I said, okay, like I'm ready to go. And we had a fantastic weekend. It was like most people don't know how much fun that is. But we captured it on film and we aired that and it was a huge hit, with everybody, everywhere. And so that was my introduction initially. And then I ran into Josh, the commissioner, a few years ago at a tech conference. And we started talking about a new mandate. The Treasury was going to award capital to this state to put into venture, and an RFP was going to be competitive. And then he suggested, Fargo, North Dakota, why don't you compete and get O'Leary Ventures here? I thought, this guy has a good idea. And we did, and we were very fortunate to have won it, and now we're all over it. I mean, my job now is not just to deploy this 45. It's to bring in sovereign wealth, pension, institutional capital, and we just announced our first deal called Land Trust. Right beside me was the Wilkes family out of Texas. This is one of the largest stores of wealth in America in terms of land. These guys own hundreds of thousands of acres, and this deal's a land deal. It's basically the Airbnb for farmland, if you want to think of it that way. You want to go hunting for a weekend? You'll go to the Land Trust and book a weekend and hunt some elk or go fishing, whatever you want. But you got to have the land and you got to have the strategic investors, and that we brought both to the table. That's the idea. Bring more money to North Dakota because this state wants business. You don't have AOC here. You don't have Elizabeth Warren. You don't got crazy politicians. You got people that are open for business.
Paint a picture of what you think this looks like 10 years from now.
I think what's going to happen, is my view, is that the rate of growth of GDP per capita in North Dakota is going to top out at number one in America, probably in 3 to 4 years. People don't get the joke here. They don't know about the power of energy and this new carbon sequestration strategy. I think my job, and I'm just one voice, is to bring more money here to make this happen. There's so many great ideas. And in the last 2 weeks, I want to remind everybody listening, this is the only state in the union with its own effective sovereign wealth bank. Banking's under scrutiny now. Regional banks all over the place are going under. Not here. I mean, you guys started your own bank in 1919, and you've had virtually no failures because it's supervised or in a partnership with your own bank, Now, every state and their dog wants their own bank now, but they're not going to get it. You can't go back to 1919. Nobody knows that. I was talking to Kudlow just on the weekend on this. We were on the air on Saturday, and I was telling him about the Bank of North Dakota. He said, you got to be kidding me. I said, no. Kudlow, you got to come with me to North Dakota. You got to check this out. Like this model is the model for banking because they impose this self-discipline on how they lend. Their books are not stupid. They're not Silicon Valley. They're not First Republic. They're not Signature. These guys run a tight ship.
We've been saying that exact spot on.
No, it's a great story.
It's a great
and
story.
you're right. It's unfortunately a best-kept secret nationally. It shouldn't be. Kevin O'Leary with us, Mr. Wonderful, visiting with local business leaders and companies about investment opportunities and also the Wonder Fund, North Dakota. We'll talk more with him when we come back after a short time out on What's on Your Mind. Don't go away. Continuing our conversation with Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary. How'd you get that name, Mr. Wonderful, anyway?
We're trying to find the tape from season 1, 14 years ago. Barbara, who sits to my right, who I've been working with for a long time. And I just want to add one thing about Barbara. The only reason she makes it to the Shark Tank set every year is I buy her a new broom.
Ouch.
So, she basically said, "Aren't you wonderful?" On some, I think the first royalty deal I proposed, she said, "Oh, aren't you just wonderful?" I said, "Yeah, I am." And it kind of stuck, and wow, look at it now. People don't even know my real name anymore. It's crazy.
And you have a Wonder Fund in North Dakota.
That's right.
And the first investment is this land trust you talked about yesterday. What else do you expect? What else is in the hopper for Wonder Fund?
Well, given what's happened in the world in the last year, and let's go back to the big dollars. About 90% of institutional money is run in sovereign wealth funds. Our own giant pension plans in the U.S., the Saudis, the UAE, Norway, Canada's pension plans. These guys run the big money, and they've lost a lot of money in tech, and they've lost a lot of money in financial services. Let me give you an example over the weekend. Qatar and the Saudis put in about $50 billion into Credit Suisse just 90 days ago. Today it's worthless. They're unhappy about it. They're that's
Slightly perturbed. Huh?
No, they're unsettled.
Yes.
And so
It's unfortunate.
it's unfortunate. So they're looking at other sectors, and so am I. I mean, people are starting to say, what else can we invest in long term? And that's where North Dakota comes into play. You got energy, carbon sequestration, you got ag tech, you have fantastic sources of energy, low cost nat gas. I mean, you've got pharma, nobody knows how big that is here, manufacturing of vaccines, biotech, Microsoft's second largest campus right here in Fargo. So you got coding. There's a ton of stuff that doesn't have to be volatile, that's longer term in duration, that I think a lot of sovereign wealth and pension would be interested in investing in. And so I'm looking for deals that diversify us away from what's been really, really, the cycles come through. And for the last decade, it's been tech, until everybody lost 30% in 1 month. Remember, price of Facebook, the granddaddy, went down almost 50% in 2 months. Well, that doesn't happen to the value of land you grow wheat on, or oats, or or this is the breadbasket of America. So it's really those are the kind of investments I'm looking for now. I want stuff that's more stable.
And we don't have much time, but I do want to quickly ask you about the banks. And I know Kevin has a question too. Signature Valley Bank, what happened there?
Silicon
Valley Bank. Yep, sorry.
So, in a nutshell, it's a bank run by idiots.
Thank you.
And it's that simple. It's tough words, but it's true. These guys ran the bank like a hedge fund. They took shareholders' money, not depositors' money only, but they went and spent it on stuff that they shouldn't have, and that's coming to light every hour of the day as they start to scrutinize these managers. But they did something that's remarkable. They took depositors' money and basically went to Vegas and put it on black. They bought these really long bonds at 1.7% interest when the Fed was raising rates. Only an idiot would do that and not somehow mitigate their risk. And as idiots, they blew the bank up.
And the response to this from Janet Yellen to say everybody's made whole, is that equally idiotic?
Yes, 100%. You're absolutely right. Just because you have a bank run by idiots that goes to zero doesn't mean America's broken. Lehman went to zero. Bear Stearns went to zero. Enron went to zero. the economy is so strong and diverse that it steamrolls over idiot managers. We don't have to change our policy on banking. We've got a $250,000 FDIC insurance already. We don't need to raise it. We don't need to guarantee everybody everywhere all of the time. You have to be an adult. You have to be responsible. If you really want insurance, put your money in 5 different banks, which is what we've done in our portfolio. We said, okay, let's diversify. Let's not risk it all in one bank because we don't know where the next idiot is. You have no idea where idiot management lies. It's like the Black Swan swimming somewhere in the lake. There's always an idiot somewhere. So you have to diversify to protect yourself against that.
Makes sense, Kev.
Kevin, when it comes, great name, by the way. When it comes to the Biden administration, war on fossil fuels, et cetera, the green thing, the one thing we keep hearing in North Dakota over and over again is, well, no one investor wants to put long-term money into an oil operation if they know that the people are if they're being fought against at every turn. Where do you land on that?
You could have said that 24 months ago. Then you had Germany. Then you had Ukraine. Then
Right.
You've got the price of oil all over the place. The thought process on that is changing. What people want now is clean energy. So if you can show them that you can frack and take carbon emissions and put them back in the salt caves underneath this unique geology in this state so that you're generating low-cost energy that's clean, there's lots of people that want to invest in that. We're going to need fossil fuels for the next 50, 60, even 100 years. You don't know when we can make a transition to other sources. You have to have energy security in America 100% of every year, every day.
Amen.
And that means we've got to get up to 18 million barrels a day. We're at 12 right now. There's a lot of investors, including me, saying, wait a second. It's not about politics. It's about policy. The policy of any president of the United States, number one, should be energy security. Our own energy, not Venezuela's energy, not anybody else's energy, our energy. And after we have that, then we can sell it to somebody else. That's the key.
Makes so much sense. Great to see you, Kevin O'Leary. Thank you.